Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 MOCs of the Week episode. It's the video where I just take a look at some of the coolest custom creations I happen to see people building in the larger LEGO community and show you guys here on YouTube. Links to everybody I'm talking about and more are in the description below if you want to learn more about these designers that are being showcased. And this week there are no new instructions launched in the web store, but I can tell you that currently we have the parts for 3 new models in the studio right now that are getting built. 5 new creations have pieces that are currently in the mail and are on the way, with some of these creations on the way 5,000 or nearly 10,000 pieces. The images you see flashing by the screen are from some custom instructions that have popped up in the web store within the last couple of months. And now let's jump straight into top 10 of the week. In no particular order, this is the first one here from ForlornEmpire. This is titled Sidewalk Cafe Revamp. As part of a building challenge, the designer had to revamp an old LEGO set. This is an update for set number 6402, a sidewalk cafe from the Paradisa theme. I like to showcase models that show me new types of techniques or approaches to things that I have seen many times before, and check out the combination of pieces that were used to create the tiling for the ground. It's a combination of cheese wedge pieces that face each other intermixed with 1x1 tiles. It looks excellent. It's a unique pattern that seems to repeat itself consistently. And just when I think all of the different floor patterns have been achieved in bricks, someone comes along using the most common pieces ever and does something totally new. The color palette is excellent for this little vignette. And if you want to check out a designer that consistently knocks out pretty awesome stuff and fairly frequently, remember, links to everybody in the description below, including ForlornEmpire. Next one here is from a designer we love to showcase here. Moko has built a Robo Cube once again. This is number 12, which I assume to mean that this is the 12th version of a robot that this designer has put together that can also transform into a cube. Or maybe that's the other way around. It's a cube that can transform into a robot. I don't know if that makes much of a difference. The lime green as a primary color is a unique way to show off any type of robot, frankly. It almost makes me feel like a Mountain Dew themed build. There's a unique design for the gun that this robot is holding onto. I like that its bayonet is sort of like a lightsaber or something, and it's a nice little touch there. You can see that the magazine, or perhaps the energy pod at the bottom of the gun, is actually just a studded in coffee cup. Always unique designs coming from Moko, and now we've jumped over to a figure build from Eero Okkonen. The title of this figure is Suon Suncaller, and the description reads, "She brings the sun back after the long, dark winter months." Talk about unique build style. I mean, how often do you see people reusing the cloth piece from the old Wild West sets? Here it's being used as a skirt or maybe the backing of a dress. The ice skate pieces show button details along that side, which are great. The waist is a single dark red tire rim, and the bionicle tentacles are kinda perfect for showing wavy strands of hair. Always such creative figure builds from this designer. And if you're keeping track of the numbers, this is number 7 from Tim Goddard. The title also matches a wildly underrated Cramp song, The Crusher. There is no description or explanation as to why this model is called the Crusher. I mean, you can see the sticker detailing along the side, but functionally this looks a bit more like the evolution of a Boston Dynamics robot dog. The yellow and black highlights keep this model looking consistent. There's also a very smooth element to this robot design, and the mandibles in the front kind of freak me out. Now we've jumped on over to a model from Mitsuru Nikaido. He makes awesome mecha animals. This latest one is the Mecha Cicada. The primary build here shows a rather large bug built in rather large LEGO mechatronic brick built form. There's some great detail that make up the sectioned dark gray version of its body in the back. And then there is also a single shot of this more developed version of a cicada as well. Remember, links to everybody in the description below. This guy has a very consistent and interesting build style that is definitely worth getting lost in if you have the time. And now we've moved on to a version 2 of a model I think that we have shown before sometime in the past. From Ventum Vox, this is Don't Piss Off the Ogre. So I believe we have seen this ogre before, or a version of it at least, and maybe even the wagon, but now it is set inside a full diorama scene with a great looking windmill on top of a small grassy hill. This whole scene seems very organic and lifelike. The ogre looks like he's really gonna smash down the windmill or maybe go straight for the wagon. There's some great build techniques used to create the rounded base for the meadow, the sections for the windmill, and of course a lot of unique pieces being used to create the expressive face of the ogre himself. Super fun design. Glad to see these models put into a larger diorama. I think it really benefits everybody, and we've jumped on over to build number 4. KitKat1414 is the designer, and the title reads, Now I'm the King of the Builders. This is part of a larger AFOL build challenge, and what we have is essentially the King of the Monkeys, or something like that, sitting in a throne. And I mean, he's really relaxed. He is certainly sitting like he is the king, banana in hand, an easy to recognize face, despite the fact that not too many pieces are used to really define it, and some fun coloring and tiling techniques used to create the floor and the background. Solid looking scene. Now we're looking at build number 3 from Nate Lego. This is the only photo we have of it. There seems to be a lot going on. The title is Lego Battle of Castillon, July 17th, 1453. If you follow the links in the description below, you will be able to get a more detailed background of this exact battle. This is a historical scene or a recreation of it. Really an impressive design. I don't know much about the battle itself, but I certainly appreciate the landscaping and the attention given to all of the figs for the actual posing of the battle. I like the slow layering effect that we have for the gradual rise and fall of some of the hills in green, and there are all kinds of wonderful builds spread out fairly evenly along this large area. You can see a bit of a forest growing up in the corner, a wheat field with what I presume to be a farmer's house with lots of great brick detailing there, and then closer to the particular angle of this shot there is a pond, more trees, another type of crop growing in the grass, I'm not sure what that is, and then a larger hill with a edge of a fort along with what looks like a ballista. It's a really impressive scene. Would love to have a long time to kind of look at this thing and walk around it, but we are jumping on over to a model from Justin Blair. The title is Post-Apoc City Sites. So this small diorama is exactly what essentially the title reads. We've got a few buildings in a city backdrop with elements of chaos and overgrowth and dirtiness that certainly lead you to the conclusion that perhaps things have fallen apart in this region of either the city or the country. Who knows? One of my favorite elements here is the integration of the mud and the different puddles of water into the ground. I've seen stuff like this done before in the past, but it's impressive to see a build technique like this done so consistently and for such a large area of space. Two survivors of the apocalypse seem to be facing off against one another. It's hard to tell. I have a feeling that you shouldn't bring an axe to a gunfight. That's just my personal opinion. The layering of the garage door that slides open is a really great detail. No one had to explain to me that that's one of those vertically sliding doors. And now let's jump to the last model. This is an F-14 Tomcat built at 1/72 scale from the designer Tyler French. The photo you see here is the only photo I have of it from Brick Fair, Virginia, and there's just something special about this size when done right, like this. I've seen planes at much larger scales built with a lot less of this smooth consistency that you have here for the Tomcat, and according to the description here, it does have posable stabilizers and wings that fold, which for me make it like the perfect small display piece to have on my desk. Really excellent little techniques, and that is it for my personal favorite top 10 MOCs of the week. Here are some honorable mentions. I showed a work in progress set of pics from Filler Bricks. Here's another photo of, I believe, the finished product of this flyer from last week. Han was yellow first, designed the Forest Village, great colors. I'm a sucker for custom bikes. This is just a fun little small model from RGB 900. 300. The Lego Brick Mock Motocross is the title. Jumping on over to Magnus W. This is a brute decision. Awesome details and animated ideas for the scene. And then some great gesturing builds from Ken Ito. This title is Emperor Penguins. Kale Frost built something called Mushroom House. Mitsuru Nikaido has a wonderful Lego Micro A10 with a fun sort of forced perspective in this particular shot. And lastly, Shannon Sproul built the cyberized 76906, which just has a fun look and feel to me. All right, that is actually it now for this video. Remember, there's always way more than just 10 or 20 cool creations each week. Links, all in the description below. If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, or share, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.